In a joint effort, Operation Linda Jamii Initiative and Sufuria Revolution Movement have submitted a petition at the Kisumu Law Courts. They have demanded compensation and justice for victims of police brutality, mass murder, and extrajudicial killings within the Luo Nation. Professor Fred Ogola, leader of the Operation Linda Jamii Initiative, and Honorable Sospita Obungu Owich, president of the Sufuria Revolution Movement, and the chairman of the Bunge la Wananchi, Kakas, along with fellow human rights activists, led a procession in Kisumu City to present this petition, advocating for justice for the Luo Nation.
Operation Linda Jamii, in cooperation with Sufuria Revolution Movement of Kenya, has submitted a petition to the High Court of Kisumu against the horrific police brutality meted out on the residents of Kisumu County at the behest of the Minister of Interior, led by CS Kindiki and Inspector General Police Japhet Koome. It is our submission that by illegalizing Kenyans' constitutionally protected right to demonstrate, the Minister of Interior is taking us back to the dark days when violence and force were illegally deployed as instruments of the state against agents of change and progress. We know for a fact that days before the mass action, rule of law was disregarded by those keen to crush the power of the people, which is the voice of God. Subsequently, demonstrators went to the streets knowing that they would encounter violent policemen that had been set against them by the state. The police, on the other hand, went to the streets not to protect life and property, but to destroy them. And that's what led to police brutality. These acts of brutality amount to violation of the fundamental freedoms and human rights enshrined in the Constitution and various constitutional principles. The brutality meted out on the residents of Kisumu County and the country at large is majorly due to the sins of omission and commissioned by the Minister of Interior and the Office of the Inspector General, failure to train the police on lawful methods of conducting law enforcement operations during the demonstrations as per the edicts of the United Nations Code of Conduct on international standards regarding police use of lethal force during demonstrations. Additionally, it is reported that during the said demonstrations, police officers who are agents of the CS Kindiki and Inspector General Japhet Koome used their firearms to unlawfully shoot at demonstrators and persons who are not demonstrating, including children of tender years, to death. In fact, what pains us the most is that to date, it is not clear whether the said police or their immediate superiors reported the said use of firearms to the interested party as it is mandatory required by law. It is worth that until now, Inspector General has not made public, as per the constitutional edicts of Article 35, Part 3 and 1 and 3 of the Constitution, that reports all incidences of unlawful police shootings during demonstrations. Furthermore, the public is not aware of any investigations or prosecutions into the said unlawful police shootings during the demonstrations across the country, particularly in Kisumu County, where it is reported that formed the bulk of the shootings, which is historical because it is our knowledge that in Kisumu, since independence, the most bullets have gone to the head, the stomach, and the chest of Luos since independence. The numbers are glaring. The government of William Ruto failed to provide emergency medical services to persons who are injured during the demonstrations in violation of the law and the Constitution. Instead, the President, William Ruto, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, and the leader of majority in the National Assembly, Kimani Ichung'wah, led the entire Kenya Kwanza Brigade in bragging how their operations of dealing with Mandamano was so successful, ostensibly calling the victims as domestic terrorists. We call upon the Honorable High Court of Kisumu to give us justice the soonest time possible. The Luo nation has suffered immensely after every election and gotten nothing to warrant any feeling of pride in exercising our constitutional right to vote, while other communities in Kenya remain entitled to the piece of the national cake which they enjoy as the Luo nation enjoys tear gas, bullets, and poverty. We want the court to make a ruling that they will send a message to the perpetrators of these police brutalities that never again will they silence the voice, the freedom and rights of Luo nation with bullets, tear gas, and any other form of violence and police brutality. This is by considering the CS Internal Security and Inspector General to produce records of all internal injuries, investigations, or prosecution into police brutality during the demonstrations. The court should further order the government of Kenya to produce cases of victims of demonstrations who either lost their loved ones, were injured, and lost property. Further to this, the court should order the government of Kenya to compensate handsomely all victims of Mandamano so that as the politicians sort themselves in bombers, those who paid the ultimate price also should receive restorative justice. While the National Dialogue team continues to churn out its joint agenda, we also hope that the plight of victims of violence by state and its actors are resolved. Let us put an end to these historical injustices. Operation Linda Jamii remains Solomonic in the fight for good governance in Kenya, irrespective of the society, economic, or social status. In that regard, I will urge you to take a covenant with me now that we shall pursue our economic and social transformation Solomonically, yes, by being on the side of the law and constitution of Kenya. Yes. Let us start to lead our leaders into what is good for us. If you are in the side of law, you are with us. We are partisan to the law, not to anybody else, not to any institution, but we are partisan to the law. So kill us when you are with the law. Yes. We are willing to go to heaven when, yes, you are with the law. Hakuna mambo matatu. Mambo matatu ni obey sheria, mambo ya pili obey sheria, mambo ya moja obey sheria.
My name is Joseph Adedesheshe, a youth leader in Kisumu, a member of Sufuria Revolution Movement, a supporter of Linda Jamii, Kenya. My message is very simple. We as Luos in Kenya, we as members of Kisumu County, we as taxpayers in Kenya, we as stakeholders in Kenyan government, we condemn in the strongest terms possible the acts of killing, maiming, beating, and any other unlawful act meted on our people by this government. We strongly condemn any injustice which has been observed in our community. Since independence, we have noticed that after every election, there are only two things that happen to members of our community: bullets and tear gas. Nothing more than that. We want to tell our people that we should come out strongly and condemn these acts. We want to say that we also deserve to be treated fairly. We also deserve to be treated with justice. We have contributed, we as local community, we have contributed immensely to the social, economic, and political development of Kenya, and we deserve to be rewarded as such. I want to call upon all the members, all the communities in Kenya, be it Luo, be it Loya, be it Kalenjin, be it Kamba. We want to say, come out strongly and condemn this. Help us to condemn this injustice in Kisumu. Because as Martin Luther once said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. This injustice which is being done to our Kisumu people will one day be done to the Kambas, will one day be done to the Kikuyus, will one day be done to the Kalenjins. When you condemn it right now, then it will not be done to you. That is why somebody by the name Martin Noela once said that first they came for socialists, but I did not speak because I was not a socialist. Then they came for trade unionists. I did not speak because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for the Jews. I did not speak because I was not a Jew. Then eventually they came for me. And there was nobody there to speak for me. That is why you want to say, when these people are killing the Luos, the Kambas will not keep quiet. The Kikuyus will not keep quiet. Because when they are done with the Luos, they will come for you and there will be nobody to speak for you. Thank you so much.
What happened to the young people, the scholars who were killed? Some were some were accused falsely during the Mandamano. We lost a number of students, like here in Kisumu. But my question is, why is it that anytime there is Mandamano in Kenya, it is only in Kisumu where live bullets are being sprayed? So I call upon the leaders of this country, kindly, may you compensate the parents who lost their kids, the students who are killed. This is not the first time, and I believe it will never be the last time. We've been seeing scenarios of such cases, like in 2018 when a student was killed back in Meru University. Like this year, we lost a student in Maseno University. The same year, we lost a student from Kisumu National Polytechnic. Up to when shall we keep quiet when this is happening? We know everyone is aging, and the youth, they hang. The scholars are the people who shall be speaking to the people of Kenya in the near future. But when now we are killing the young, that anytime you see comrades, anytime you see student leaders, anytime you see the freedom fighter, the bullets are surrounding them, they are being alleged in courts. So I'm calling upon interested bodies, all those who are taken to court about the Mandamano. We are calling interested parties. May you help us look into this, because some of them were arraigned in court when it is known that none even were in the Mandamano, but because of some things that are known to the people who did the arrest. So I'm requesting that, and we believe that justice shall prevail in this country. Comrades, power. Youth power.
My name is Obungu Sospita Wich. Today I want to thank the Linda Jamii initiative for coming here in Kisumu and agreeing that we work in partnership with them. Today we have just delivered a petition here at the Kisumu locals. The petition is all about the injustices that were meted upon our people here in Kisumu during the demonstrations. Now we have just petitioned the state, we have petitioned the IG, and we have petitioned the Kenya government as a whole in matters touching on the police brutality, extrajudicial killing, and murder during the demonstrations that were called by His Excellency Raila Amolo Odinga about the high cost of living, auditing of the 2022 general elections, and many other issues. What I want to say categorically, let me reiterate this, that we, the members of Kisumu County, we are a peace-abiding citizen. We are a law-abiding citizens. And whenever we call for any demonstrations, it should not be looked as if it is a process to destroy the properties of our people. It should not be looked as if it is a process to kill one another or to harm one another. That is why I want to tell our police officers here in Kisumu that we are seeing you around us. But we want to tell you that today we came here to demonstrate that we can do a peaceful demonstration without any form of violence, and that we have done.